better way to end our awesome cavalcade of E3 shooters today than with Call of Duty Black Ops 2? No better way is the answer. Black Ops 2 time. Mark from Treyarch is here joining me on stage. Mark, super excited to have you here, man.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, dude. Black Ops 2, you guys closed out the Microsoft press conference yesterday.
And now we're closing this out
today. And now
you're
closing out the GameSpot stage show day one.
This is awesome.
You guys are big news around here. How's the reaction been for Black Ops 2?
It's been great. Really, the fans have just, they've really responded to all the new things that the team's been working on, and we couldn't be more happy with that.
Now, the demo yesterday showed a lot of some LA destruction, trying to protect the French president. Saw a little flying, saw a little shooting, a lot of shooting, to be honest. But we're seeing something different today, and it's something I haven't even seen yet. I'm very excited. Can you give some folks a preview?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, you know, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 will have that signature cinematic, intense gameplay like you saw with Los Angeles. A lot of new gameplay elements there. But today what I've brought for you is Singapore, and this is a Strike Force level. It's a totally new kind of level inside of Call of Duty. It's something we've wanted to do for a while, and we've been prototyping this, and we got it for Black Ops 2, and I'm really excited about it. So let me just tell you a little bit about what exactly a Strike Force level is.
New type of level within Call of Duty. I mean, that has my interest piqued right there because, you know, for all the excitement, for all the bombastic situations you get yourself into with Call of Duty and the variety, you know, people have come to expect certain things and certain pieces that put together, you know, expertly paced, but you're bringing something new into the mix.
Yeah, we wanted to shake up the formula. We wanted to create some new kind of gameplay inside the campaign, and I think it's something that fans of the franchise, they've had so many great experiences, but I think they want it too. So for the first time with Strike Force levels, it does a couple things. One is we're introducing non-linearity into the campaign.
Oh, what?
So that means at the highest level, you're going to have your story arc, your narrative story arc, and at some point during the campaign, you are going to get a choice of which levels you want to take over, which Strike Force levels you want to take on. So JSOC will come before you. You have your Black Ops team. They'll lay out the proxy wars that are going on in the year 2025, and you'll have a choice of missions. In this case, we're going to choose Singapore, and we're going to drop you in, but that's just where it starts, really. So choice of mission. Why don't we get this going, Jason? Let's get it fired up right now.
Singapore.
We're going to do an insertion here in Singapore. So this is myself and my Black Ops team. We're going in.
Codename Kraken. Good choice.
All right. And, you know, immediately you'll notice some different things on the HUD. We wanted to introduce sandbox gameplay. You could take on, so it's not just about, you know, you got some objectives out there, A, B, and C. You can take them on in whatever order you want, but you can also play this in any way that you want. So you just move to an Overwatch mode. This is a tactical mode that you can play in. You can play the whole level in this way. You could play this level like you played every Call of Duty level, gun in hand, boots on the ground, and fight through. He's chosen to look at this from a strategic point of view. He's laying down some waypoints for his team. And then he's going to pick which one of these guys he wants to take over. So he can take over any of his members of his team, anyone on his team.
So you can pick any one, dude, so there's not a dude waiting back in the parking lot looking at his wrist like, hey guys, you should go over to A.
Yeah, the A. Yeah, we've got the AI. We've worked a lot on the AI, so you know when you go into Overwatch mode, you're literally controlling the AI from that Overwatch mode, right? Again, that he can do this at any point in time. Jason, back out to Overwatch mode just to show him that you can do this at will. You can play this game however you want.
And there we see the guy he just was moving to cover.
That's right. And all he has to do is it's Call of Duty. It is simple to be able to move around and do this. So he's highlighting the different characters on the ground. He can then move in, and they each have different weapons, right? You got the LMGs. You have various weaponry on the battlefield. And the thing about the year 2025 is we have worked to create some great new weaponry and some fun new weaponry that you're going to fight against and that you're going to be able to play with. So in this case,
the weaponry that the bad guys have too.
And the bad guys have it too at this point. I mean, like everybody, you know, it's out there in the world. Drones, that technology, it's out there. And you know, yesterday in Los Angeles, we showed you controlling quads so that they could be your squad mates as you were moving in. Well, in this level, when they come online, you're going to be able to control them. So, all right, so there's a claw. He cannot penetrate that claw with regular bullets. That's a cognitive land assault weapon. It has 2 BP of armor. He needs to stand back there, or you can take over one of these other drones that has heavier caliber weaponry. So he's driving now. He's decided to take that over, and he can now take on that claw. He's faster. He's more agile.
A drone is a good anti-drone. It's a different kind. So the quad, they're just talking
It's a
different
heavy.
species of
That's
drone
right.
here.
Yeah, I mean that claw can take down an entire army, right? It has heavy caliber weaponry. It has it could really take down a fairly large army. But this is a lot more. You'll notice even the interface, the audio changes. He's just decided. Okay, so he was for a second there. He was inside of a claw, but he could move around now. I think it's really important to note, like, one of the goals with this was accessible but deep. We needed to make sure that this is accessible. People can play it. If you know how to play Call of Duty, you can ease into this level. Like I said, you can play it like you play pretty much any other Call of Duty level, boots on the ground, gun in hand. But I think that's just scratching the surface. And I think for Call of Duty fans who've been playing our games for a long time, this is going to be a great new form of gameplay. Whether you win or lose this campaign, this mission, that also affects our branching storyline. It affects the Cold War narrative arc that's going on in the year 2025. Because again, the fiction behind this is these are the hot spots. So right here, he's just inhabited one of the quads. Now he's flying around the mission and taking out bad guys.
Now we've got, and so you notice people are asking about the prompts at the bottom of the screen. Is that sort of how you switch between the various drones you have built on the battlefield?
So that's your soldiers. That's your claw, that's your quad, that's your automated sentry drone. Those are the numbers that you have with them. That's your D-pad. When you see the countdown timer, so the numbers on there, that's how many of them you have. Now, you could lose this mission because you could just run out of reinforcements and not take over your objectives in time.
Run out of time.
Take over the claw at this point, right? Why don't we go down in there? You can see, like, here he goes. Now he's just going to start. I mean, it's really powerful. He can launch grenades from it. They're really powerful. He can just, again, but it's, it's a trade-off. It's a balanced trade-off. It's a heavy piece of machinery.
Very slow.
But it's very slow, right?
So this sort of is reminiscent of like a multiplayer contest, right? Because you've got the different points that you're trying to capture, and you're sort of strategic. You're like marshaling your team. Are Strike Forces maps playable in multiplayer?
There are certain maps that are really good multiplayer experiences. So you'll definitely see some of that. But this is absolutely a campaign level.
It's right in the campaign.
This is absolutely in the campaign. This is a unique style of gameplay. Again, I think one of the things about this nonlinear gameplay narrative is you'll have a choice, which means that you may not choose and may not experience, depending upon how the outcomes of these maps, you may not experience all these missions.
Now, we've got this sort of playing as different guys, like hopping out and playing as drones, brings into focus the fact that Call of Duty has always been, thrived on having multiple protagonists throughout a campaign. And Cool AD is wondering about the main character, like what kind of character thread are you following through the campaign in Black Ops 2?
So the character thread that I think people are gonna see in Black Ops 2 is they're gonna see this villain, Raul Menendez. You're gonna see in the 1980s, the late Cold War, in the Cold War during the 1980s, you're gonna see the origins of our villain, and you're gonna see this character arc into the year 2025, just what he's capable of. Now, this is a direct sequel to Black Ops, which means Mason, Woods, Hudson, they're back. When you're experiencing that Cold War during the 80s, that's when you're playing with.
That's those guys.
That's when you're playing with the guys that you played with Black Ops. In the year 2025, you're playing as David Mason, the son of Alex Mason, and you experience
Following in the family business.
Absolutely. You're on the hunt in the year 2025, but you are, you're basically through Woods' eyes. He's telling you about how you and your father first met the villain of Black Ops, and it's just this epic story narrative. Each of these characters have a story arc with branching storylines. Different things can happen to these folks depending upon how you play the game and the choices that you make.
So are you trying to encourage multiple replays here to experience all that the Black Ops 2 campaign has to offer? I mean, that's the only way to do it.
Hey,
right?
yeah. I mean, if you want to experience everything, you will have to play through it multiple times. Now, certain choices. There are certain choices that are big choices. There are smaller choices. There are gameplay choices. Like I said, you might actually. And these levels are unique in that you can actually win them or lose them, and it will affect the narrative arc
And you can
of the
still
Cold
progress,
War, and you
even
can
if you
still
lose.
progress.
Yeah.
So that in itself is different as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of new stuff. If you like Call of Duty campaigns, but you're looking for some new experiences and you want some new gameplay, some variety, that's what we wanted to create, and that's what we're doing here.
I think
with
you're
the Black
addressing
Ops
a lot
2.
of the sort of issues people have with the Call of Duty campaign is the linearity, the fact that it sort of feels very familiar when you play it. And, it's
At the same time, we know players like that.
That's
right.
true.
So how do you do that?
It is a
And
proven
so
fact.
we have, inside the core game, you got that cinematic gameplay, you got that epic experience. We're going to have some branching storylines. There's going to be choice, but then you got these missions where we change the recipe up entirely for you.
Now, Mark, I gotta say, the TV has been telling our demoer here for minutes to press X to call in an airstrike. Are we gonna see an airstrike?
He could run it. Would you like to do it? End this right now.
Are you ready?
He's good. So this cargo ship, it's not leaving the docks here. It's not leaving Singapore.
No, I don't think so.
All right.
And there it's taken care of.
Yeah. So
Nice. And look at this. You got a swarm. Now, is this something that as you secure points, you get access to more assets to sort of play
So
around
the longer that you have 3 objective points that you're supposed to take on here in this level, and he can take them on in any way that he wants, basically. But he will eventually run out of reinforcements, and that's eventually how you lose.
Okay.
That's
Yes,
how you
that's
lose.
how you would lose.
That's how you lose. So thanks, Jason. Appreciate
All right,
you.
very cool.
Good play this year.
So that's Strike Force,
There he goes.
and
Yep.
these are different mission types that are within the Black Ops 2 campaign.
Absolutely.
Of course, we can't let you off the stage without just briefly touching on the other stuff people love about Call of Duty: competitive multiplayer.
Absolutely. It's in our DNA. We are going to, the team, the multiplayer team, that whole multiplayer setting is in the year 2025. The weapons, the balancing, the attachments, the gameplay modes. I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. It's amazing stuff. They're really doing great work.
All right, got to check another box because you guys are Treyarch. Zombies.
Of course.
There are zombies in the future. No.
Of course. Yeah.
No. That's a great thing.
Absolutely. There are zombies in Black Ops 2. It's the biggest world we've ever created with it. There's more gameplay. If you're a Zombies fan, you're gonna love it. There's just the team is there's a there's a versus mode you'll be able to play. There's a lot of great new stuff for Zombies fans.
And of course, this is personal for me because I love to fly a jet in a shooter. We saw some jet flying in the LA level during the Microsoft press conference demo yesterday. Is there more of that in store? More jets?
That was a jet that you can fly and shoot. You're not just a passenger shooting. You're flying it. You're shooting it. It's Call of Duty. You pick up the controls. If you know how to play Call of Duty, you can fly the most advanced jets on the planet.
You're really puffing me up here, Mark. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to make bad decisions when I leave the show floor here today. LAX is not that far away.
Well, you know what you need to do is make your way back to make your way back to our booth, and we'll get you behind the controller.
That sounds good to me.
All right.
Mark, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, you guys launching this fall. You got a date, don't you?
Yeah, November 13th. We're coming out.
November 13th.
We're excited about it.
Very exciting. And thank you so much for having this on the show. Great way to close out the day. Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
All right.
Mark,
Thank you
so
very
much.
All right.
All right.